Coming up, a new attack ad takes aim at the Liberals in Ontario's 2 provincial by-elections. Stay with us. Let's continue in Battleground, Ontario, where the Freedom Party is out with a new online attack ad targeting Liberal Premier Kathleen Wynne as the FP tries to breathe some life into its by-election campaigns in Niagara Falls and Thornhill. Here's how the ad looks.
It seems like every day, Kathleen Wynne's Liberals are apologizing for something they've done to you.
And I am very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry for that. The people of Ontario need to hear that I'm sorry because I am. I am sorry.
Spending scandals, cover-ups, tax increases, rising electricity bills, healthcare delays.
And it's important not just for this issue, it's important going forward. So I'm sorry about this.
What will Kathleen Wynne's Liberals be sorry for tomorrow?
Well, Freedom Party leader Paul McKeever joins us now for more on why his party has released the ad and what it hopes to achieve. Welcome to Battleground.
Well, thank you, Dan.
So what kind of voter are you targeting in this ad? Are you hoping that PC voters will look at this?
We're looking for anybody who believes that we need a balanced budget before we start pork barreling with, young subway extensions and $100 million hospitals. These things are needed, but not without a balanced budget. What we're seeing right now is the Liberals on a reckless spending spree again, spending billions of dollars, promising billions of dollars to win 2 by-elections. We don't need apologies. What we need is responsible government. Right now, the Liberals, the NDP, and the PCs, for all their papers that have gone out, none of them have promised or provided any inclination or provided any details about how they would balance the budget or exactly when they would balance the budget. We have a plan. We've had one for the last 3 years, and it's right on our homepage at freedomparty.on.ca. What we're saying to the voting public is balance the books first, then we can start thinking about other things. We don't need apologies. We need responsible governance and responsible financial decision-making.
Well, we can talk a little bit about what the issues are in Thornhill and in Niagara Falls, but just one more question on the ad itself. It's an online ad that I've seen. I haven't actually seen a whole lot of views on YouTube of it. I think the number in the dozens from what I saw maybe about an hour ago. Will there be a media buy or anything like that associated with this ad?
Yeah, that's the normal approach. We've run a similar ad to this in July. It was very successful. In fact, Freedom Party got 5% of the vote in London West when we ran this ad on the radio there. So we're not quite sure yet if we're going to run it on TV because TV has a much broader scope than we need. But we expect to be putting it on the radio in 1-minute spots in both Niagara Falls and Thornhill.
Now, speaking of Niagara Falls and Thornhill, you talk about debt. It seems that's the first thing that's on your mind when you talk about the situation Ontario is in right now. How does that work, though, as a local issue in Thornhill and in Niagara Falls? I understand how it might be a provincial issue, but how does it work in a by-election that's specifically targeted, in this case, at 2 ridings?
Well, I don't think you can run by-elections as though they're an event for just pork barreling. That's how the big parties are treating it. So, for example, the Liberals are promising a new hospital in Niagara Falls because healthcare is so poor there, and we're also seeing in Thornhill where they're promising an extension of the subway. When? Well, they won't quite say. This is not responsible governance. So our pitch, no matter what riding you're in, is that Freedom Party is the only party that's there for responsible governance, and that's of interest to people no matter which riding they're living in. So we're not going to play the low road. We're not going to try and bribe people with their own money. I mean, let's keep in mind, this is over $3 billion of borrowing that the Liberals are promising to do, and we have the PC candidate in Thornhill saying, yes, she too would put in that $3 billion plus extension. That's great. First, let's see the balanced budget. Until then, it's all paying for people's votes by putting them further into debt. And we don't think that's responsible, and we think that voters, no matter where they are, will hear the message of fiscal responsibility that Freedom Party's candidates are giving.
How soon would you balance the budget if the Freedom Party ever formed a government?
We have a balanced budget proposal. We've had it online each year for the last 3 years. We balance it in the very first budget. It's a simple matter of reversing a couple of mistakes that have been made in the past, and in fact increasing choice in health care while decreasing the debt load, believe it or not. But it's an issue that's demographic in nature, relating to the spiraling cost of health care. That's what's driving the deficit. And that's what none of the other three parties want to address. We have a way of doing it in a relatively pain-free way that would actually cause the balanced budget to occur, and also give us some tax relief so that we can restore business community in Ontario. We've lost way too many industrial enterprises to China and India.
All right, very interesting. Paul McKeever, thanks very much.
Thank you, Daniel.